This video is about my trip to Eastern South Africa in early 2023, where I attended a wedding, ascended to the world's second tallest waterfall, had a visit at a hospital, and many more adventures. The main reason for me to fly to South Africa was that I was invited to the wedding of a good friend of mine, Nadja, and her future husband Bonwa. My first day was at a beautiful beach house, 2 hours by drive south of Durban. The bride and the groom decided to celebrate both German and African traditions, so we were invited to 2 different ceremonies. The wedding took place in the Midlands, in the Dargle Forest Lodge, surrounded by a magical landscape. For the traditional family introduction to the family of Bonwa, we went to Richmond. After an eventful first week, we parted from the others and headed to the Drakensberg to enjoy the nature and hike to one of the tallest waterfalls in the world. Unfortunately for my girlfriend, the day took an unpleasant turn. After we checked into our hotel, she missed a step on the way to her room and twisted her foot. Instead of plunging straight into the adventure, we had to make our way to the hospital in Hammersmith. The diagnosis? Possible torn ligaments. But using a moon boot, she still was able to move quite well, so we could still explore a nearby waterfall the same day. The Drakensberg is the highest mountain range in southern Africa. The highest point is located in Lesotho, at a 3,482 meters height. Right at the border between South Africa and Lesotho lies the second tallest waterfall in the world, the Tugela Falls. Since 2013, the Maloti-Drakensberg Park is a UNESCO Transboundary World Heritage Site and definitely worth a visit. Located north of the Maloti-Drakensberg Park lies the Royal Natal National Park. It is one of the most spectacular sites in Africa, with its impressive mountains and a lot of exotic plants and animals. The nature here is just breathtaking, a perfect place for many adventures. Right in the middle of the Royal Natal National Park is the Cavern Resort, a family-run accommodation founded in the year 1940. This is the perfect starting point for numerous hikes, including a 3-day hike to the Tugela Falls. But also, if you are tired of hiking, you have many other options here, like several tennis courts and a big pool area. Magan, the owner of the resort, arranged one of the generously appointed superior suites for us and invited us to the Cavern restaurant. We really had a great time at Cavern Resort. It is impressive how much this place has to offer. 3 days were not nearly enough for us to take advantage of everything. Thanks to Kieran, thanks to Magan. After our first stop, we drove deeper into the Drakensberg mountains, past a beautiful landscape with table mountains, lots of lakes in between, and through Hluhluwe-Java, a large, very untouristy town that already lies on 1,600 meters above sea level. Our main goal was to climb the Tugela falls, but it looked like I would have to do this on my own, because Annika needed more time to rest her foot to be fit for the rest of the trip. In the dark, we reached the Witsieshoek mountain lodge, which is the closest accommodation to the Tugela falls. The next morning, I decided to start the hike as early as possible. The Witsieshoek mountain lodge offers a shuttle to Sentinel Peak car park, from where the hike starts. The road leading up was badly damaged and looked more like a riverbed than a road. So if you do not have a four-wheel drive and if you care about your car, it's advisable to take advantage of the lodge's shuttle service. When I arrived at the car park, we were surrounded by the clouds. From here, it takes about 3 to 4 hours to the waterfall. Since I hiked up in the end of March, the temperature was still quite okay. But in winter, it can even snow up here. After all, it is at an altitude of 3,000 meters. After about 2 hours of hiking, you will reach a 30 meters high vertical rock wall, where the famous chain ladders are attached. Although scary, this is the fastest way to reach the plateau. From there on, you will have to walk straight ahead until you reach the cliff where the waterfall plunges almost 1,000 meters into the depths. But even there, I was surrounded by clouds and unfortunately had no view. So I used the time to explore a small stone hut nearby that serves hikers as an emergency shelter during bad weather. Finally, after about 4 hours of waiting at the top, the clouds cleared up. All the other hikers that I met on the trail had decided to be back in time before sunset. But I just could not descend before I hadn't experienced this incredible view. But I also had to hurry, that the descent wouldn't be too dangerous and I wouldn't have to hike back in the dark. I made use of the little time I had, took my drones and tried to make some epic shots. On my way down, I met two wonderful locals, Travis and Angelique, who gave me a lift in their jeep straight to my accommodation. Seeing the stunning shots, Annika didn't want to miss the once-in-a-lifetime view. We decided to take the shuttle to Sentinel Peak again together to do a short hike. That day, the road was even worse, because it had rained heavily during the night. But during daytime, the weather was much better than the day before. The hike up to the viewpoint only took us about 1 hour. Since Annika was really nimble with her moon boot, we were able to enjoy a great view. After a magical week in the Drakensberg area, our journey had to continue. Our next stop was Pietermaritzburg, where we shot a film project with BoNana Dance, the dance school of Nadja and Bonwa. Pietermaritzburg is home to over 200,000 inhabitants. Most of them live in sprawling townships. Many areas are troubled by high levels of crime and poverty. Numerous kids that attended the BoNana Dance school reside in the midst of these neighborhoods. Over the following days we interviewed some of the kids and their parents, as well as the team behind BoNana Dance school.
I was dancing, I used to dance with my sister from baby, and she said I can dance. And then I started love to dance, and then I joined the BoNana Dance.
Ya, umphakathi wethu uyilona hlobo lomphakathi mfowethu olungewona umphakathi ophezulu kakhulu.
They have developed that passion of dancing. They can do it on their own. So this has helped us a lot, especially me, since I was teaching creative arts. In creative arts, there is that part which is about the dance. I wasn't aware that before you start any dancing, you need to do the warm-up. But these kids were able to help me with the warm-up exercises.
BoNana Dance describes itself as a non-profit organization that strives for communities through dancing. If you want to learn more about BoNana, check the links in the video description. One of our last stops during our 3-week trip through South Africa was the Hluhluwe-iMfolozi-Park. It is located 280 kilometers north of Durban and is one of the oldest game reserves in Africa. It covers an area of about 1,000 square kilometers. Here you have the chance to see the big five as well as giraffes and zebras. We spent the last days of our trip on the Indian Ocean coast. There, we could truly relax and reflect on all the adventures of the last few weeks. We experienced so much, even though we had only traveled through a tiny part of South Africa. I've put a lot of passion into this video. I hope you liked it. If so, I'm happy to receive some feedback. Also feel free to check out my channel.